Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. I wrote a newsletter for my patrons last month talking about the difference in the Pokemon buying experience at Costco today versus a little over 2 years ago. And I know it's kind of a weird thing to think about, but what does Costco look like today? You know, when Costco gets some restocks of Pokemon products, people line up at the door. When the doors open, they all duck underneath while the door is still being wound up. And then they sprint, they push each other, they try to grab some of the display boxes that have, what's it, 10 or 11 or 12 prismatic evolutions packs in them. And they're throwing elbows at each other and shoving and getting in fights, sometimes getting assault charges, sometimes getting the 1 or 2 box limit, sometimes not even that. And then they go and they flip it and they make, I don't know, $100, $200. How much money can you make flipping 1 or 2 of those on Facebook Marketplace? And yet they think that's worth it. We've had stories of people pulling guns in Target in order to get Pokemon cards. We're just at that kind of crazy, manic top of the cycle. And it's interesting to think, what did this look like 2.5 years ago? And I went back and I showed my patrons the stuff that I was buying at Costco 2.5 years ago, the stuff that I was putting on the Patreon, telling them to buy, putting in the Friday sealed deals, sharing links for, all that stuff back then in late 22 and early 23. And God, the deals were amazing. $2.50 to $4 per booster pack for Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze, Chilling Rain, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, and Brilliant Stars. Those were the 6 sets we were getting in that time period in tin displays at Costco. There was inverted EV from the display cost to the total pack value inside, the sealed pack value, not the single card value. But there was inverted EV just for buying those and either holding them sealed or holding the tin sealed or breaking it all down to booster packs and holding those, whichever one you wanted to do. There was inverted EV. You could buy as much as you want. You could order it online with free shipping and it would be delivered to your door with no quantity limits. No lining up at opening time, no sprinting through the store, no physical fights, no assault charges. It's amazing the difference in the top and the bottom of the market. And, a lot of the people who are the short-term thinkers who come around for the tops of the market, they don't hang around to the bottom of the market where you make a ton of money, where you start buying those kind of things that have Evolving Skies packs and you're paying $2.50 for Evolving Skies packs. What's an Evolving Skies pack worth today? Something like $40, even after the price of Evolving Skies boxes have come down in the last couple of months. So you're still looking at something like 16x gain on those Evolving Skies packs. And yeah, those are the best of the bunch, and probably Darkness Ablaze is probably the worst of the bunch. But even that has, doubled, tripled since you were buying it at $2.50 to $4 per pack back then in 2022 and early 2023. So it's wild to think how different the market looks and how, for the most part, you just have to be patient. You just have to buy great assets at a good price and hold them for the long term. And you've seen 400, 500, 600% returns on Pokemon from that era. It's just wild what people will go through, what they will subject themselves to, the risk they will take in order to get these products at the top of the market, when we just kind of sit back here in our chairs and we say, I'm going to wait a little bit. I'm going to wait for all those people to get discouraged, to capitulate, to move on to something else, and then I'll scoop up everything at rock bottom prices, build big positions, and 2 or 3 years after that, I'll be looking at 300, 400, 500% returns again. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.